Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. As most of you know, my name is Ina Kropkina. I'm the founder of Jewel Branding Studios, an image consulting company that's introducing wellness into the fashion conversation. And I love helping women to feel beautiful. I work with a lot of women who might be experiencing stress and burnout. And what I do is I help them find their fabulousness using fashion elements that help calm their mind, empower them, and discover their inner goddess. I was inspired to turn some of the work that I do privately with my clients and some of the lessons that I feature in my fashion journal to create these multi-sensory, body-activating experiences. And I typically do them under the new moon. Our ancestors believed the new moon carried powerful, powerful energy. And I'm really interested in tapping into ancestral knowledge. Before the civil calendar was introduced, our ancestors lived by the moon, by the sun, by the stars. That was their time. That was their calendar. So I wanted to reclaim a little bit of that knowledge, a little bit of that wisdom, and offer it in my sessions. The new moon, our ancestors believe, carried immense power. It was a beautiful time to set intentions, to go inward quietly and really reflect on what version of ourselves we want to create, what things we want to let go of. So this session today with me is to help us do this together, to tune in, to become very quiet and commune, and also use fashion elements to guide us and help us understand how we can adorn ourselves or support ourselves through adornments in the next month. Tonight, we are communing with the color purple. I am obsessed and absolutely enamored with color psychology, which is the study of how color affects human mood and behavior. And what color psychology says about the color purple is that, well, first of all, it's the secondary color between blue and red, and it's beautifully balanced between blue and red. Blue reminds us of water. It's flowing water. And red is this passionate, grounding, courageous color. It's very bold, bold color. So when we get with purple is flowing boldness, flowing passion, flowing inspiration. So when the visual cortex of our brain is introduced to the color purple, we get spontaneous bouts of inspiration, of devotion, of intuition, and a major mood boost. So if any of you ladies want that devotion from your partner, purple is a great way to stimulate their visual cortex. Wear more purple. If you want a little more intuition and inspiration, purple is a great color to turn to. And of course, there's different shades, tints, and tones of the purple hue. A tint is when white is added to a pure hue. A tone is when we add gray, and a shade is when we add black to a pure hue. Versions of purple are lilac, lavender, we have periwinkle, and amethyst. And then when we do a shade and a tone, we get those deeper colors of berry and grape, plum, and also Tyrian purple, which is also known as royal purple, because at one point that color was so difficult to create that only royalty could afford to wear this deep, deep version of the color purple. Depending on the tint, shade, and tone of this hue, looking at purple can help us soothe anxiety. It can connect us to our intuition and inner wisdom. And with the deeper tones, like I said, it could be associated with luxury and project power. So if you want a little more power in your life, if you want to surround yourself with more luxury, but don't want to spend a fortune, by simply adding purple, deep shades of purple into your life, just touches of it, you will already experience this feeling, and more of it is going to flow into your life. Universally, purple is recognized as the color that represents imagination, inner wisdom, intuition, and it's also the color associated with our third eye chakra. Chakras is something that ancient traditions throughout the world, throughout history, have referred to. There are these energetic points on our body. They're usually described as spinning wheels of energy. And it's very subtle energy that exists alongside our physical body. And when the energy is stagnant, we feel stuck in life, we feel lack of flow. One of the ways we could help create flow is through aromatherapy, through color therapy, through breath work, through yoga, through body movements. And so those are some of the things that we're going to be doing tonight. So, as I promised, we're going to tune in and relax, and let's do a couple of breaths and open up our third eye chakra. Just a deep, deep inhale. Feel your feet on the ground. And one more. And just become aware of this point between your eyebrows on your forehead and just gently rub it. And usually during my sessions, what I do is this is where I introduce aromatherapy. In my live sessions, in my live group sessions, I have oil available for us. And since we're communing with the color purple, I thought the perfect oil for us to commune with tonight would be a lavender essential oil. Aromatherapy involves concentrated extracts that come from a plant, whether it's the stem, the leaf, the flower, the bark, the root. And these concentrated extracts today are known as essential oils. And what our ancestors believed, or how they relied on essential oils, is to help balance and improve their physical, their mental, and their spiritual well-being. And usually how it's done is through inhalation. So if you have lavender oil with you, I invite you now to add a drop to the pulse point on your wrist, just one drop, and just rub it gently just to warm it up. And I know we just did a couple of deep breaths, but we're going to do a couple more and just really appreciate the essence. And see what feelings come up for you. And another deep breath. And then we'll dab a little bit on our third eye chakra, just activating and encouraging flow. If we feel that there's a little bit of stagnation there that has taken form in overthinking or lack of trust or just anxiety. And so our ancestors relied on essential oils for their well-being, but now there's been scientific studies done that back up the things that our ancestors knew. And so what science has discovered is that there are active compounds in the lavender essential oils called linalool and linalool. And these compounds have been measured to have a physical effect on our body. And the way it has a physical effect on our body is it actually lowers our blood pressure and our heart rate. Lavender essentially acts like a natural tranquilizer, and it can be used to relieve stress, anxiety, sleeplessness, anger. Lavender is one of those staple oils that I have in my home, and you can turn to it for a variety of different ways to help calm. If your kids are having a difficult time going to bed and you need to calm them down, lavender is wonderful for rubbing on their feet. If you're feeling angry and frustrated, or if your kids are feeling angry and frustrated, turning to lavender to help calm the nerves is also an excellent thing to do. You can diffuse the essential oil, the lavender essential oil, in your home, either by their bed or rub it on your kids' feet. So, and that goes without saying. Of course, you have to be not allergic to lavender. There are some people that have a reaction to lavender. Ancient wisdom, again, believed that inhaling lavender essence helped transmute negative energy into positive energy. And now science is backing it up and saying, yes, it's actually helping you calm down because of these compounds that are found in the essential oils that are linalool and linalool. I'm probably mispronouncing it. So how do you feel? I hope a little more relaxed, a little bit more tuned in, and in a state of trust. Tea. Tea is a fascinating thing. It is said that tea was only drank in China for 4,000 years, and then it finally made its way to Europe in the 17th century, where it was only sold in apothecaries as a digestive. And when it was drank in China, it was only for medicinal purposes to help balance the body's temperature and to, again, aid with the digestion and stimulate the mind as well. Tea has very stimulating properties. So as we know, over time, tea became an everyday drink for us to consume without much thought. But studies have shown that different unique compounds found in tea target different areas of the body. So drinking tea is like drinking medicine. It provides protection from stress and disease, and it can help strengthen our bones and our immune system. That's how powerful tea is. Again, since the color tonight is purple, we're communing with the color purple. I made the rooibos and blueberry tea. Rooibos is also known as a red bush tea, and it is a herbal drink. It's caffeine free, and it acts like a black tea substitute. And it's got a very subtle flavor, a very neutral base. This is a great tea to blend with other fruits and spices. So the fruit, like I said, I chose is a blueberry, which is a darkish purplish bluish color. And it is filled with antioxidants, just like the rooibos tea. Both the blueberries and the rooibos tea is filled with antioxidants. There are these compounds that help us combat stress and inflammation. They help us also to detox our body and help to repair and regenerate cells, and then protect our skin from harmful free radicals, which are damaging molecules. So as you enjoy this tea, just imagine how it is repairing your cells and helping with your skin and regenerating your body. So that's the power of tea. Cheers. As we're drinking our tea, what I'm going to do now is invite you to reflect under this new moon energy, what old version of yourself you would like to release. What things you'd like to let go of that you feel have been weighing you down. What blocks are you facing in life? Whether it's in love or abundance or tension in the workplace, anything and everything. It could also have to do with your wardrobe, a simple transformation in how you want to release certain pieces from your wardrobe. This is a great time to do this. Part of these gentle transformations is our ability to recognize the blocks, being able to voice them and write them down, but then allowing others to be witness to these blocks. And so it's a whole bunch of layers of support here, by writing, by speaking, by being heard. And when I do these sessions in person, they're even more powerful because there is that witnessing capacity from other attendants. So I'll put 5 minutes on the clock, and I invite you to write down anything that you feel is limiting you at this moment. And I will join you. I will do the same thing. So now what I usually do is I open up the space for people to share some of the things that they've written. And when they share, when they voice it out loud, again, there's that support system. And energetically, the witnessing of what needs to be let go. And it gives others an idea of what they might also want to let go of. So it's a very, very therapeutic communing experience. So I made my list, and I know you're not here, you're watching the replay right now. But what I'm going to do is what I usually do in my live sessions is introduce sound therapy to our session. Sound clears any blocks, any negativity, any disturbed frequencies. We're mostly water, and we know that when sound is introduced to water, there's a rippling effect. As we just wrote down and spoke about the things that we want to release, we actually created a frequency, and we are going to move that frequency out of the way using sound. In a live setting, you really sense the shift in the room, in the space. Let's now explore how purple adornments can support us in the next month. And we'll start with the purple amethyst crystal. In the crystal healing and wellness space, amethysts are considered master healers. They are widely used for promoting tranquility, for reducing stress, and as a sleep aid. So if you have trouble sleeping at night, putting an amethyst crystal on your nightstand can help you. So play around with that. It is thought to absorb negative environmental energies and act as a protective shield for your space, or if you're wearing it for your body. And it's the birthstone of February, which is closely linked to the Pisces zodiac sign. It's my sign, and these bracelets were gifts from friends and family. And Pisces, it is said to be kind, compassionate, sensitive, and sympathetic. So the calming and protective qualities of the amethyst stone can be particularly beneficial for the sign to inspire and enhance their spiritual connection, their intuition, and their overall well-being. If you have a Pisces that you love in your life, family, friends, this is a great gift, protection to give to them. Now, let's talk a little bit about fabric. This month, we're communing with wool, the natural fiber wool. I love natural fibers. I recommend natural fibers to my clients in all my consultations: linen, silk, cotton, wool. And you might be thinking, Ina, it's the middle of the summer. It's scorching hot out there. Why are you talking about wool? It is commonly assumed that wool is worn in the winter. And it is a great fiber, a great fabric to wear in the winter, but it's also great for summer. It is known as a natural SPF. It protects from the sun, depending on how it's made, the weave, how far the threads are spaced out, and how the threads are made. There are different qualities of wool. So there's some people out there that say, oh, I'm allergic to wool, I'll never wear wool. But what's actually happening most likely, is that they're reacting to poor quality. Hair that comes from certain animals will have really coarse fibers that dig into your skin and make it itch. So that is probably why you or your friends who have sworn to never wear wool are reacting to wool. It's that wool is not quality. Also, some people react to something called the lanolin. It's an excretion that the animal excretes and covers the fleece. So some people have a reaction to that. But wool, again, ranges in quality depending on what animal it comes from. And superfine merino wool is considered the most prized wool in the world. And it comes from a breed of sheep called merino. There's also cashmere that you might have heard of, and pashmina. Those are also very high quality, and they come from a breed of goats. And then Angora, which comes from Angora rabbits. So cashmere, pashmina, Angora, and merino wool. And what makes this wool high in quality is that the hairs, the fleece produces threads that are super thin and delicate, but at the same time, incredibly, incredibly strong. So they're light, they're soft, they're strong. It's just the perfect combination. And that's why they're so prized. Now, in terms of the fiber composition, the wool fiber has a crimp to it. Like it's like a bend in it. So when a lot of different fibers are locked together, they create little pockets of air because it's like bend upon bend upon bend. pockets of air that could trap heat, but also pockets of air that allows air to flow through. So wool yarn is measured in something called a ply, which is a number of individual threads that are twisted together. So the higher the ply, the more threads, and this affects the strength and elasticity of the final garment and of the fabric. One ply, very low ply thread is very thin, it's very pliable, and this is the kind of thread that makes very super fine, super light, easy breezy fabrics, right? And the higher the ply, the bulkier the thread, the bulkier the garment. Wool is an ancient fiber. Archaeological findings say that the oldest known piece of woven wool cloth was preserved in a Danish bog, and it dates back to 15,000 BCE, so 17,000 years ago. And back then, scientists and archaeologists believe that they didn't know how to shear the sheep. The sheep would shed and they would just pick up clocks of hair and create wool garments out of them. And then in present day Iran, around 6 BCE is when there are findings where they can actually shear the sheep and make wool garments. This is a very ancient fiber. Wool is very ancient. It's a beautiful fiber to turn to and to have in your wardrobe. I always recommend it to my clients because everything has a vibrational signature. And back in 2003, they were measuring, one scientist, Helen Yellen, I believe her name was, she was measuring the frequency, the vibrational signature of fabrics, different fabrics. And she discovered that wool, linen, and silk vibrate at a frequency of 5,000 hertz, depending on how they're made, especially silk. While the human body has a vibrational signature, a healthy human body, 70 to 100. So when you are wearing a fabric that is high frequency, you're literally nourishing your body. It's like drinking the equivalent of a super green smoothie when you're wearing these fibers. The plastic synthetic fibers vibrate at 15 hertz, and they are actually robbing your body of energy. They're sucking energy from you. So I found for myself, the more I've been on my awakening path and meditating and just diving deeper into who I am and just becoming more aware, I have an aversion to synthetic fabrics now. They make me feel very trapped. In the last couple of years, I've been slowly cleansing my closet of synthetic fabrics. I just don't want to touch the clothing in my wardrobe that's synthetic. I have an aversion to it. That's a little bit about frequencies and why you would want to add more wool into your closet and nourish your body with wool. Now, we will close out our evening by reflecting on the things that we are grateful for, the things that we honor, the things that we are at peace with. And there's a document that I sent you, the 2-page document. One was the burn and release, which I invite you to burn later tonight with the new moon energy. Don't reread it. You've written everything down. You've let it go. It processed through you. I invite you to burn it safely, dispose of it. If you don't have access to matches or burning, rip it, shred it, dispose of it to symbolically let go, and then take a salt bath. But what now I invite you to do is to write down all the good things in your life, all the things that you want to call in, all the things that you're grateful for. And the list of actions are on that sheet that I emailed you. And it looks like this. It says notes. I call in, I honor, I'm grateful for, I affirm, I implement, and I'm at peace with. I'll give us 5 minutes. I'll put 5 minutes on the clock and we'll do this together. 1.5 more minutes. Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, and we're done. How did that feel? It always feels so good for me. As I write it down, I feel so grounded in what I'm writing. It's like it's done. It's already done. And I hope you felt the same thing as well. It's the same thing as what we wanted to let go, what we want to call in, when we honor it, when we are aware of it, and when we share in a supportive space. Again, in my live sessions, women share the things that were brought up for them, and they inspire other women to reflect on what they want to call in and what they want to honor. So it amplifies. What I'm trying to say is the things that we wrote about, the honoring, the affirming, the gratitude, the implementing, as we experience it, as we say it out loud, the people that surround us amplify it. The people around us amplify it for us, for each other. So it's a beautiful, beautiful supportive energy. That is the end of the New Moon Collective monthly meeting for the month of August. The new moon in August is in the sign of Leo, which is a very fiery, passionate, bold sign. And I hope the purple elements of soothing, calming lavender, the connecting to the intuition chakra, the high frequency, nurturing wool, and tea, the rooibos tea full of antioxidants that nourish our body. I hope these will support you in the next month until the next moon to deal with some of this fiery, bold energy. I'm grateful that you took the time to watch this video, and I look forward to having you in one of my live sessions one day very soon where we explore other flowers. Tonight, we explored the lavender flower essence. I also explored the rose essence. Last month, we explored lemon and the bright, optimistic yellow linen fiber. So every month, there's something different. There's something to learn because the world of fashion and the world of nurturing ourselves, there's just so many elements that we can turn to. And every month is different. Time flows, and these nurturing elements can flow too. We can't just turn to one thing for our nurturing over and over and over again. We need a little variety. We need a little inspiration, a new burst of color. And, we're going through different things. There's different chapters in our life, and each chapter calls a new support system. And this is what I'm here to do, is to offer you this support system via fashion elements like fabric that touches our skin, the color in a setting where we nourish ourselves with tea, and a beautiful smell. So again, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you at one of my live sessions soon. Take care.